Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night. It's 9:30. It's time to go behind the hedges. Tonight, we're talking to some volunteers about the upcoming Tennessee season. But before we do that, let's do this.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Yeah, Katie, I see that head bobbing, dude. That's the old new intro, man. I got kind of zapped on YouTube this week, and they made me take my old music down. So I said, all right, it's fine. We'll take away the old and put in some new. And I frankly kind of love it. So welcome dogs, welcome Vols. KTG and Patrick are over here representing the red and black. And we got the super genius, Mr. Wiley, and young Brandon. So welcome, Orange guys. So tonight we're going to be talking about a few things, but first and foremost, I am very interested to know about everything that's changing on Rocky Top. All right, so real quick, coming off a pretty good season, or at least a season that I think you guys were happy with overall.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The phrase that was used numerous times was ahead of schedule, right? So new coach Heupel comes in, he installs his bag of tricks. Got yourselves a good quarterback and some good receivers, and you guys were able to do some stuff in year one. So what is changing? From 2021 to 2022, what can we expect to see differently?
The word of the day is continuity, my friend. Continuity. As of yesterday, February 21st, 2022, Tennessee had only lost one assistant coach, and that was Cody Burns, who's the wide receivers coach, who is supposedly taking the same position with the New Orleans Saints, which is it's a loss. I mean, that was a definite key. That was definitely a position of success for Tennessee, especially Cedric Tillman, Javante Payton, Velus Jones, all those guys that really did well. I mean, they were the big playmakers, the heart and soul of that offense, and so it's going to be interesting to see what we decide to do to fill that gap.
Yeah, Wiley, I'm not convinced that this is that big of a hit.
Well, I don't think it is either. I mean,
well, if you look at Heupel's history, it's been this.
Yeah,
we're gonna gun it down the field, and we're gonna air it out. And I mean, you need a wide receivers coach, but
did you guys see that? Cortez Hanks left Georgia and went to LSU, and there was a little a headline, a teaser or something that said he was being courted by the Saints. And so is it locked in stone that Cody Burns is taking that job, or is
it's expected that the quote is from the News Sentinel that he's expected to take it.
I just thought it was interesting that Cortez would leave us, pick up the job in LSU, and then almost immediately drop it. That would just be that would be wild, considering that he's a Louisiana guy, though. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibilities to entertain the Saints, I suppose. But if they're going after your guy, then all right, fine, makes sense to me.
I mean, they're still looking at what they're going to do. There've been any number of guys who've been thrown out. Names have been thrown out to fill the job from the outside. One of the names I found was kind of interesting was Montario Hardesty, who's now the running backs coach at South Carolina, who played for Tennessee under Phil Fulmer.
I tell you who
as a running back who has experience as a wide receivers coach.
I've got my pick of wide receivers coach.
Yeah,
the one, the only, Peerless Price.
Honestly. I mean, if you're asking me, if as a Tennessee ride or die, if I'm going to go out and hire a wide receivers coach, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go grab Kippy Brown off the golf course. Now,
I like the Peerless Price.
Peerless is probably. I mean, or I'd go get God, who's the Jermaine number Copeland. I'd go drag Jermaine Copeland back home from Canada. I mean,
so aside
he's been
from coaches, because
years.
sounds like the coaching continuity is going to be pretty good. What about in the realm of any notable players leaving in the transfer portal or
Tyon Evans announced he was entering the portal towards the end of the season. I mean, he's a luxury. He really is. I mean, he's a good back, and we have loved to have him. But Jamari Small and then Leaf Whitehead, and I mean, they were
more than made up for his.
They were what we needed as far as the change of pace from the throwing game. And so I think we're going to be okay without him.
Although I would love a good receiving back.
Yeah.
So Jabari Small will be back in there.
Yeah, I mean the kid that's kind of I think could fill that spot is Justin Williams, the kid from East Paulding that we signed. He's kind of in that mold, and we've got so that kind of like out on the perimeter, kind of scat back kind of kid. And we've got another smaller back that we pulled out of Louisiana named Dylan Sampson, who.
So for the folks at home who don't know, you guys are actually working with fewer than the 85 scholarships spaces because of some sanctions self-imposed.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are going to probably wind up having.
Thanks, Coach Pruitt.
Coach Fulmer.
So you guys are going to probably
you feel.
Have a roster of in the mid 70s, mid 75 ish.
Yeah,
players.
I would. Yeah, I mean, we finished the season with 76 scholarship players,
right.
so I would think that's where we're going to end up after the spring.
How many are you bringing in with this recruiting class?
Right now we have 13 early enrollees led by Addison Nichols from Greater Atlanta Christian. He's probably going to be our starting left guard of the future. And Taven Jackson, quarterback from Center Grove High School in Greenwood, Indiana. He's going to be our quarterback of the future. Once
he really was an early.
Yeah, he signed on quickly, and we've got some really good. The place I always worried about is always offensive line and defensive backfield. We got a kid who out of Detroit named Messiah Reddick, who sounds like a really high quality. I heard an interview with him, and he was fantastic and really overly enthusiastic about coming. And then we've also got Gerald Mincy, who was an early transfer to us from Florida. So I think he's got some SEC game experience. So I think we'll see him up there. We do have a pretty impressive NFL legacy coming in the defensive back. We have Christian Harrison from Woodward Academy down there in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
And so we'll see how he does. But we've got I mean, we're looking pretty good. I mean, the one almost departure that really kind of scared the hell out of me was 9. Help me out, Brandon. Tyler Barron was Tyler Barron. He jumped into the portal.
Yeah,
and luckily changed his mind pretty quickly. And then the one big surprise of
I probably said 10 o'clock words.
Well, we didn't think the one guy we got that we didn't think that nobody thought we were going to get was Tyree West out of Tift County.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think everybody thought he was going to stay home or stay closer to home, but he.
We got some smoke early on that it looked like he might be leaving or trending away from us pretty quickly. And honestly, guys, we didn't really do a lot to put claws in him. You know what I'm saying? We had some some big bucks that we were targeting for that defensive line, and he's plenty good. Don't get me wrong, he's plenty good. But I mean, I think we signed, what was it, like 4 dudes that were higher rated than that, and he was like a 0.95 something, you know. And
we got it. We just got to have somebody to fill that. You know, Matthew, we're losing Matthew Butler, and he was a good. He was a serviceable to good interior lineman, and we need somebody to fill that spot.
Real quick, where's Roman Harrison?
As far as I know, he's probably second or third. He's still probably behind Jeremy Banks in the depth chart.
Gotcha.
I think he'll get so. And then Solon Page the third, who was a walk on. He worked his way up to get some really, really good snaps towards the end of the season. I mean, I think those two are going to be your. I mean, Roman. It'll be Banks. It'll be Banks and Roman, or Banks and Page.
I just had to ask because he's a hometown guy.
He's a Members guy. Yeah, always got to ask my Members guy.
Like I said, fellas, it's been things on Rocky Top have been extra quiet.
For once in the off season, thank God.
Yeah, well,
you had knock on wood. There have been no shenanigans.
For good or bad, they've been quiet.
I mean, the only controversy right now really is where they're going to play the orange and white game.
Oh, gotcha.
And some dumbass got the bright idea that they ought to play it in Birmingham.
So before we move on, KT, Patrick, you guys have any questions about changes at Tennessee? You guys got anything for these guys before we move on?
The only question I have, I asked y'all before the show, are y'all going to score 20 this year? The only question I got, and that's my favorite clip of the whole show, so I got to bring it up.
Hey, at least some of this shit went viral.
Just roll it.
What clip are you talking about, dude?
Hey,
I think we'll hang 20.
What?
Just to remind you, fellas, we got an Instagram account.
Yeah, the only thing,
Go up on Instagram.
Honestly, the only thing that would made that clip any better if Ducati had done a full on fucking spit take, you know.
Like if he had actually had some liquid in his mouth.
It's in his mouth.
Although you know what, Wally?
Danny Thomas spit take.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Wally. You know what? These fellas apparently can't round up. 17 to 20 is a field goal.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
Pretty damn close.
Horseshoe.
Close only counts in short. And what is it? Hand grenades.
Thanks, Mean Gene. I want to elaborate something real quick. For those youngsters who don't know, when I brought up Kippy Brown was the wide receiver coach who coached Tim McGee, Carl Pickens, Thomas T.D. Woods, who's still the number one receiver in Vols history, and a lot of these guys. He was actually the interim coach when Kiffin left. So the guy is a first-class wide receivers coach, and if we got him back, we'd be lucky.
Okay. All right, boys. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a bit. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Hedges. We're still talking Tennessee's upcoming 2022 season. Yeah. So stick around because there's more on that. Here goes.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, welcome back, boys.
That song's got a little Eminem feel to it.
It does. I believe the artist name is NEFX, if I'm not mistaken. So what happened was the old song that we had got a copyright claim against. Apparently, the song maker, decided to go ahead and try to make some money off his music. And they slapped us with a copyright claim, so I had to go remove that. I was like, dang, I don't know what I just got to find something to slap in here. And I just stumbled across that one. The name of the song is Manifest It. So I played. I was like, actually, I kind of like this better. So there we are. So we're doing that thing. Anywho, moving forward. So we just got through talking changes on Rocky Top. Now let's talk a little bit more about things that are going to stay the same. I want to let Patrick get in here and ask us some questions about like what do you want to know about this upcoming Tennessee team?
Well, I mean, I don't have a lot of questions, I guess you say, at the moment. But as far as the more they stay the same, I would expect to see even more out of Hendon Hooker. I love Hendon Hooker. I follow him.
That's why I sagged to you. I knew you had a connection to Hendon Hooker.
You guys, Caleb and Mitch, they know, but you guys probably don't. I live just outside of Greensboro, North Carolina, and Hendon Hooker played high school football not 25 minutes from my house.
I believe I saw you post something, sir.
Yeah.
So so I follow Hendon Hooker. I mean, I hate that he's wearing orange and not red, but hey, I mean, I can't win them all.
He has definitely been a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
Oh,
I think he got more to come out of him too.
Oh yeah,
I
honestly think he probably played his worst game of the season against Purdue in a lot of ways. He kind of showed his ass in the second half a little bit, got a little, and I think when the game started becoming more of a track meet, he tried to force a few things. And
let me ask you something, Wiley.
Yep. Go ahead, Boo.
That not so glorious game against the Panthers of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
You think we win that with Hendon Hooker behind center?
I do.
I think. I think.
Bet your ass I do.
I mean, look, there's absolutely no doubt that Joe Milton is a great athlete. I mean, that there really is.
Oh no!
I mean, he's got a howitzer for a right arm. It's a badly,
that thing sprays across the range.
It's a badly calibrated howitzer.
Yeah.
But he, honestly, if I was Heupel, I'd figure out a way to use him. I think that with Milton's size and his speed, I think he's an ideal tight end. I really do. I think. I mean, you stick him in the game I'd stick him into a game as an extra receiver.
I mean, you bring up a good point. When you only have 75 guys you can use, you need to be using 75 guys.
It's got to be kind of an almost an Iron Man two-way.
Well, and an athlete is an athlete is an athlete, and you've seen it happen. Yeah,
we used Jordan Davis as a running back a couple of times.
I mean, he could. I mean, literally, he could kind of be, a kind of a Swiss Army knife type of offensive weapon.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think it kind of in the same kind of mold to use a Georgia player, Hines Ward. I don't think he's as talented as Hines. I mean, who is? Let's be honest.
Not many are.
Let's be honest. But I think the potential's there, and I would get him in the game any way I could, as far as that's concerned. Because there's no doubt the guy can absolutely fly. He can absolutely fly on the field.
I'll tell you who it reminded me of. Go back to my old Conan O'Brien trick. The King, Derrick Henry.
I don't know about that.
For that touchdown.
So
I don't think I'd go. I don't know if I'd go. I don't know if I'd. Hey, okay, reminds you.
Oh no, I don't think he doesn't remind me of Derrick Henry, but I think he could do a similar.
Okay, there's a resemblance.
Hey, we're going to throw
not even a passing resemblance, like maybe a glancing resemblance.
Jeez. So, all right. So, what are you guys excited to see in Heupel 2.0? You know, what are you
offensively? I think. I mean, passing game. We kept. We're keeping.
It's time to shine.
We still got Princeton Fant. We still got Jackson Lampley. And who's the third one? Who was the kid that was short at the Ole Miss game? When the mustard balls started flying. Yeah, I can't think. It's the Keesum. The kid
I
from
I was going to ask y'all on the mustard bottle thing. Do y'all get a discount if you buy in bulk?
Well, look, and I said this before, and I'm gonna say one time. That's the refs completely fucked that game. They really did, and that's
I agree
I mean,
100%.
we watched
I
it.
don't win that game.
and honestly, I'm through talking about it.
I was listening to the SEC biased game the other day.
Passing wise, we got our top weapon. We got Cedric Tillman. So it's good. We're keeping him. Princeton Fant staying. We got Jerome Carbon, who's been kind of our clutch plug and play lineman. Played some center, played left guard. We got Cooper Mays coming back. We got our best defender coming back, Trayvon Flowers. Love Alontae Taylor, but he's gone. Latrell Bumpus is hopefully going to come back. I think he's still talking about it, but he would be a big piece.
Did an Australian join the group that I'm unaware of?
No.
What's that?
Did an Australian join the group that I'm unaware of? Mate?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, we got a punter coming onto the team from Australia, so pretty excited about that.
But we got a lot of pieces that are still there. We're going to have some holes on the offensive line, which I think, like I said, that kid Addison Nichols, I think will fit in pretty well. Hopefully, probably he'll probably end up at a guard, right guard, left guard.
See, that's what I'm. If I was going to break it down to percentages from here on out, 75% of what I'd be worried about would be defense. 25 going to offense. See what we can get out.
So you feel like the offense is that far along? That's what you're saying.
That far along, I think we're covered on offense.
Fair enough.
But I think we need to worry about defense a little more.
I think we're gonna score some points. We've got to figure out.
Yeah.
We just got to figure. Got to figure out how to cover.
How many points are you gonna score?
I think we'll hang 20.
What?
My God, what's that smell? It's the dead horse you assholes keep kicking.
Oh man, it ain't nothing but a horse skeleton. It's just turned into dust.
Oh, the vultures have
that thing's been ground into fine powder.
I'm gonna put it in a bottle and sell it to Tennessee fans.
I will. Hey! I will. My day will come. It may not come soon, but it will come eventually.
Oh, you've had days. You've already lived days.
Yes.
Dob nail boot. How about that? There's one for you.
Yeah.
How about that? but so back to the topic at hand. We're talking about things that are going to stay the same. You guys said it, man. Things have been quiet on Rocky Top. There's a lot of consistency there. The major part, I got to say, I'm not going to speak for all Georgia fans. These guys can talk for themselves. But I will say this: that the Tennessee Volunteer that causes me the most concern is Cedric Tillman. Yeah. That dude is a stud. Okay, he is a freaking racehorse, and I am not looking forward to trying to defend him.
I agree with that.
Yes, Hendon Hooker's good and Jabari Small, and that you guys got a high-powered offense, and yeah. We put a freaking historic, mystical beast of a defense on the field last year, and Tillman still ran 200 yards on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's horrifying. You know what I mean? It is absolutely horrifying what the kid has the capability.
He's a change maker. It
no
matter what team he's on.
Cut out of a cloth like Jamison Williams or any of those Alabama receivers from the past few years. He's very similar. It's just hard as hell to defend, man.
And it also proves what will happen when a coaching staff believes in you.
Yeah.
That's That absolutely, because I think he had his last season under Pruitt had 4 catches.
Is that right? I have no idea. I'd never even heard of the guy until he stepped on the field against us.
Minuscule compared. I mean, he was a little used inside possession receiver under Pruitt.
Yeah.
Well, that was another thing. Speaking of things changing, the culture change at UT is 180 degrees.
Yeah,
and that has.
I mean, that's obvious. That's obvious from an outsider.
The quiet honestly is almost a little eerie.
Yeah,
it is, because it's just we've gotten so used to the off-season bullshit drama.
Well, I mean, you guys are
past 2 coaching administrations before this, prior to this one.
That is the same thing we were feeling last year. You know, when we kept winning ball games, you're like, it's just it's uncomfortable for everybody, but it's especially uncomfortable for us. You know, so you guys are in the off season. It's like, all right, time for somebody to go to jail. You know, and nobody's going to jail. So what the heck, guys? You know, so yeah, I feel you. When you get something good in your stocking for once, you're like, dang, this is kind of nice. Is this how the other half lives? So yeah. Any other questions for these guys about what's staying the same? Or my Georgia brethren, you guys happy? All right, man. Well, we're gonna cut this one off, and we'll be back in just a little while to talk about expectations. But first, this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Hedges. I'm your host Mitch, and we're still talking balls here. We're going to be talking about expectations for Tennessee in their upcoming 2022 season after this.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm thinking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
You know what my favorite part is? When he goes, that's my favorite. So, hey, welcome back, guys. Expectations here, all right? We've said it before. We'll say it again. Tennessee, last year, we all sort of agreed collectively that Tennessee was a ahead of schedule team. So, going into 2022, do you see Tennessee? First of all, you guys finished third in the East, right? Third in the East?
Yes.
It was Georgia, Kentucky, then Tennessee, South Carolina, Missouri,
Florida.
Missouri cares after that.
Oh, I gotta say Florida. I gotta say Florida before I say Vanderbilt. Right? So
don't get me started, Mitch. Don't get me started.
That's where I care. I love saying a bunch of names before I get to Florida. Right. So, so Tennessee finished third in the East, and so my question to you guys is, what is this Tennessee team? Is this a stock up team, stock even, stock down? Are you guys going to finish better than third this year?
I think I mean, we're a stock up team. A moderately stock up team. I think we're top. I think we're solidly top 20. I think SI is out of their friggin' minds by putting us in the top 10. I don't think we're there yet. I mean, 9-4 is certainly doable. I would expect more of an 8-5 if we flip 2 games. I mean, we flip 2 games, we win 9. We win 9. So if we take back Pitt and we get over the hump against Florida, and then repeat what we did last year, that's 9 games right there. Maybe we get lucky and pick up something that we're not going to be favored to get.
So I got your schedule.
We're going to find out real quick how good this Pitt team is without that kid under center.
Pat Narduzzi's a good coach. I would not be. I mean, they'll be ready to play. But I mean, I would not be surprised to see us be 3-0 when Florida comes to town at the end of September.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me at all.
Well, let me, if you don't mind, I'd like to look at the. First of all, let me turn this off so we can see
Sure.
Dren's beautiful face down there. I want to look at the schedule in a different way, because I 12 games here. I see that Ball State. I see Akron, which used to be Army, right? We won't talk about that. Ball State, Akron. I see UT Martin. I see Missouri, and I see Vanderbilt. That's 5 teams that I see that are. I think if you were to ask any Vegas bookie, they would tell you that Tennessee should be favored, and greater than 75% of the time in those matchups.
Yes.
All right. I see on your schedule Alabama here and Georgia down here. All right. The 2 teams who played for last year's national championship. I think you would find hardly any bookie give you better than a 25% chance on winning either one of those games. So 5 in the bag wins, 2 in the bag losses. That leaves 5 other games. So let's go through them here. South Carolina, Missouri, Kentucky, LSU, and Florida. No, lies. I counted Missouri. Let's do that again. South Carolina, Kentucky, LSU, Florida, and Pitt. So, Pitt obviously, is the kickoff for the we call this question mark games, whatever undecided, out of the bag games, toss up games, whatever you want to call them. Argue with me here. I think that if I think what Tennessee does early in those games, those coin flip games, is going to kind of determine what happens in all of them. I was surprised that Tennessee lost to Pitt last year, but then Pitt had a pretty good season. So what was that? Was that?
I mean, before we met up with Matt Corral, I had said that I thought Kenny Pickett was probably the best quarterback we were going to see all year. And I don't think I was far. I don't think that was a completely out of the realm of sanity statement. He's definitely going to be one of the first 2 or 3. I think he's going to be one of the first 2 or 3 quarterbacks taken. I don't think he's going to be. I mean, he'll probably get picked. He'll probably get taken behind Corral, Malik Willis.
Yeah, it'll be Corral first.
It'll be Corral first, Malik Willis, and then I think Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett is going to be a good pro quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh went ahead and took him to replace Rob.
So would you think Pittsburgh then would probably be stocked down from last year?
Yeah, I think they're going to be rebuilding a little bit on offense.
Well, and they're going to have to find a defense to put up against us.
Okay, so given that where the 2 teams were last year, and Pittsburgh got the win there, if they are stocked down, and you say Tennessee is slightly stocked up, it looks like on paper, at least from where I'm sitting, it looks like a Tennessee win.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
I mean, I think it'll be a close game, especially since it's a road game. But yeah, I think we'll win it.
So how do you feel about starting off your SEC schedule with Florida?
We always start off with our SEC. Almost 30 years we started off with our SEC schedule with Florida.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how Florida finished next to last in the East last year, but they still got a win against Tennessee. So
there's blood. There's blood all over the water. I mean, we're gonna come in that game. Just, I mean, I don't. My fear is to come in that game overhyped.
Yeah.
So that crowd is going. That crowd is going to be lit, and they're going to be angry.
That's right. It's at Neyland. That's right.
It's in our house, baby.
Yeah. It's
Okay. So let's imagine a scenario where you guys, start the season 3-0, then you get Florida, and let's say you knock them off. Now you're 4-0, and then you got to go to Baton Rouge.
I'm trying to remember. Did we win the last time? When was the last time we went to Baton Rouge? No. Oh God, that last time we went to Baton Rouge was the 13 players on the field game.
Okay.
Under Dudley D. Wrong.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? LSU.
I think it's winnable. I think it's
winnable. I think they're a team. Who knows if they've got things figured out yet.
I mean, look, Chip Kelly's going to find out real quick
Oh,
just
yeah.
how just how good he is. I mean, look, Brett Bielema is hot shit in the Big Ten. But when he
Listen,
came
the Big
down,
Ten.
when he came down here, he found out real damn quick that it's a completely different universe in the SEC.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to find out soon enough.
And we're going and I mean, let's just face it. Notre Dame, even though they've been associated with the ACC, has been tied more to those Big Ten schools than they have anybody else.
Yeah.
Because that's where the majority of their rivalries are. I mean, Michigan State, Purdue. I mean, those are always marquee games.
So you're saying Pitt is a win, Florida is a win.
Yep.
LSU is.
I'd say 60-40 us.
Okay. All right.
I'd give us a 60% chance of winning that one.
So then let's talk about these last two.
We'll have more experience than them getting on that field.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Kentucky and South Carolina then.
I'll talk about South Carolina first. It's going to honestly that game late in the season kind of scares me because if Rattler is still healthy, which there are no guarantees. He may not even. I have a feeling that he's going to get kind of banged up against
that LSU game is usually about where we play South Carolina.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is. Yeah, the schedule is kind of screwed up. I mean, historically, Kentucky is where South Carolina is where Kentucky used to be.
Yeah, we got Kentucky at the end.
Because we're closing. Because we close with we close with Vanderbilt.
Oh, that's our last game. Okay, I see now.
Yeah, Vandy and Nashville's our last game. But I mean,
so South Carolina, win or loss, just flat out.
I think we get that.
I think we get it. I think we get it. Yeah. I mean, that one to me kind of has track meet written all over. Just gonna be who's faster going up and down the field. By the end, there's not going to be.
Listen, we had 5 question mark games, and you guys have given me 3.6 yeses on those 5 games with one game to talk about, and that's the Kentucky.
Fuck your question marks.
I love it. So Kentucky, man, you guys beat them last year.
Barely.
To me, that's the biggest toss-up.
Yeah, that's the game. You want to talk about somebody who's going to come in there majorly pissed off at us.
Yeah.
Will Levis got just absolutely. I mean, the refs. I'm not saying the call necessarily cost Kentucky the game, but there was a really, really bad face mask, I think, on Tyler Barron at the end of the game, which was really basically right in front of a ref, and it didn't get called. That would have kept Kentucky's potential game-winning drive going.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that game was a real confidence builder for us. But if we don't figure out a way to play defense against those guys,
yeah, we got to stop the run.
We multiple times we had 14 point leads on them, and the defense kept letting them back in the game.
It's his senior year, right? They're running back.
Levis and Rodriguez are both back next year.
And Rodriguez really wasn't much of a factor. We were actually pretty lucky in that in the games where, like, you know, the team's best player. I mean, in particular, I can't remember the kid's name.
Wide receiver that Mitch warned us about
from South Carolina. Who said that?
Joshua Van.
Yeah, Van, and he had I think he had 2 catches that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
And who was the running back for Missouri?
Tyler Beatty.
Yeah, Tyler Beatty did not have a good game. Rodriguez did not necessarily particularly have a great game against us. He wasn't bad. I mean, the one player that really just I completely
You there, Dren?
I completely
spit it out, old man. Come on.
I completely underestimated was Young from Bama. I mean, I thought if we forced him out of the pocket, we'd have a chance of controlling him, and he ran all over us.
Yeah,
it wasn't Matt Corral level bad.
Yeah,
and Corral nearly ran for 300 yards against us.
Yeah,
he ran 4 yards than anybody else on us the entire season.
So I want to get everybody here on this panel to chip in on this, and listening to this discussion, I want you all to take a couple of seconds and come up with a total number of wins for Tennessee this coming season. See if we can get a best case, worst case scenario going on right here. I'm gonna start first here. Just listen, you guys talk. You just talked me into 8 and a piece of a win. So I'm gonna say that basement is 8 wins. I'm not even talking bowl games here. I'm talking 8-4 season basement. And I think I'm willing to go ceiling 9-3. KT, what you think, man?
Hold on, let me pull the schedule back up.
You want me to put it back on the screen?
Yeah. I was just pull it up on my phone because I think 8's a little too high for the basement, to be honest with you.
Okay, let me put it back up here then.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna look it back up.
Here you go. All right, back to the top.
Just let me get a quick skim through one more time. All right, go ahead.
I will say this: that Florida, LSU, Alabama stretch is a heck of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come out of the UT Martin game and you got Kentucky and Georgia back to back.
I think their basement would be 5-7.
Really?
Yeah, they could slip up and lose to a Kentucky, to a South Carolina, to a Georgia, to a Bama, to a Florida, to an LSU.
Well, okay, fair enough. That was that. When I said that you got five wins in the bag and 2 losses in the bag. Yeah, if all your other question mark games don't fall, like
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, in my opinion. I mean, Tennessee had a really good season last year, but you don't ever know, man. Florida may come back out and be decent again, but I do think their ceiling would be 9-3.
You're gonna all right. So we agree on the ceiling. How about it, Patrick? What about you?
I think worst case scenario, I'm going to go 7 wins.
Okay.
I think out of those 5 question marks, a couple of them at least are going to fall their way. I have yet to believe that Kentucky was more than 1 year lucky last year, personally. But if things go as they go in the SEC, they may be on an upward trend, but I think Tennessee is too. And because I think Tennessee's on an upward trend, I'm going to say ceiling is 9 games, but they could possibly squeak out all 5 of those question marks and go 10-2 and finish second in the East.
Okay. So
behind
we're going
who.
Somewhere between 5 wins and 10 wins. That's where we are right now. Somewhere.
Those 5 games to me, those question marks, they're all right here.
They're all winnable.
Sure.
They're all right here.
That's what I agree too. I'm just saying with my
Patrick,
basement.
I like you more and more.
When I think of
stick around long enough, you might not.
So, all right, Brandon. What about you, man? What you a homer? You've heard from some naysaying dogs. What do you think, man?
Yeah, but see, the thing about me is I don't give a shit what other people think or say.
Good, that's great.
It comes right by me.
Tell me your ceiling first. I want to know your ceiling.
My ceiling, if I'm really being serious about this, would be I'd go with 9.
Okay.
Um,
Let me ask you the question that I like to ask Ducati. What is the least acceptable result? What is the result that could happen that's bad, but you'd take it?
that I would accept.
Yes.
I'd be pretty pissed if we got one less win than we did last year.
But what if you guys went 7-5 and you got a win against Florida?
Against Florida, a depleted Florida that we should beat, that we could have beat last year if we
Are they?
started Hendon Hooker.
We'll see.
I don't know. I think our floor would be 7 wins.
Okay. All right. All right. So wrap us up then. So Super Genius.
I have said in the past that we could go 2-10, and I'd be happy as long as those 2 wins are against Bama and Vanderbilt. I have said that. Would I really be happy? No, but I have said that. Ceiling wise, I agree with 9 games. I mean, you flip Florida and Pitt and hold serve.
Okay.
Everywhere else, that's 9 wins. That's how easy it is. It would be disappointing if we slid back a game. So I'm gonna say basement 7, ceiling 9.
Okay.
I would be over the moon if we could pull 10. I just don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just say then you wake up tomorrow and the little fairy from the future is floating above your bed and says,
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee will go 8-4 next year with a win against Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to say, thank you, football fairy, and then go back to sleep?
Yeah,
or
I would be happy with that.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, it's improvement. I mean, the whole,
Is the football fairy put out?
Excuse me?
I'm just curious.
The football fairy looks a lot like Dren with kind of a tutu.
You just gave me nightmares for a week.
Yeah, you stick around. I got plenty of nightmares.
Hey, you know you want that sweet lemon, boo.
And on that note, we'll catch you guys all later. Jeez. All right. So here we are. This is the fun part of the show where talk about whatever you want to. We'll let it run for, I don't know, a few more minutes.
Well, we got a nice victory tonight in Columbia. I kind of feel bad for Conzo Martin because his teams have underperformed ever since he got to Missouri.
Columbia. Right. I told Shelby last week. Shelby's A&M Aggies, they got to go over to play at South Carolina this coming season. And I said, "Oh, so you guys get to go to the bad Columbia?" And she goes, "What's the good Columbia?" There is no good Columbia, but there is a bad Columbia. There's Columbia, Missouri, and then there's bad Columbia, South Carolina.
And right now, Vanderbilt's up on Bama in Nashville. So,
you guys are talking about basketball, right?
Yes, I know.
Is that it? Oh, okay.
Bama was a good basketball team. What happened?
Oh my God! All right, I'm going to check it right now on air. There, Robert.
Do it.
Let's see. I can't get it to load.
Dren, you ever get the feeling you're surrounded by the enemy?
Oh, I mean, we have talked about this before. I do not share.
Below, above.
No, we're above. We're below. I mean, I do not share the hatred of the Georgia Bulldogs that you do.
You do not know some of the Georgia Bulldog fans.
I know. I have been
So
I have been very fortunate. You know, Mr. Alday and I have been friends for the better part of 2 decades, and then there have been others that who have come and gone, happily gone.
I am as constant as the northern star.
Exactly.
Speaking of, oh man, where's
I mean,
that,
but,
Brandon? Where's that clip I sent you earlier? It's on Instagram.
yes.
I want to see if I find that thing really fast. I don't even know how to. Man, I am so clueless. By the way, young Brandon is going to be the new Instagram account manager for the Field of Streams. Not now. Let's see. And you're going to have to teach me how to use it, man. It's like a foreign country over there to me.
I wouldn't call me a manager so quickly if I were you.
Hey, it is what it is, man. I'm hiring whoever applies.
Throw things up there.
So here is I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see it. I actually clipped this thing for a reason which will become apparent sooner or later. But it's this one right here. All right. How do I do the volume? There it is. Okay, here goes. Is that really small? It's really small, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Georgia can be beat, and y'all can talk shit on Georgia, but you can't talk shit on me. I've maneuvered myself into a position of invincibility. You win the national championship, great. If we lose, you know why it's going to be, and I will be completely vindicated. I will find solace in that vindication.
Yes. So make sure to follow us on Instagram because you're missing some real gold like that one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can we just go ahead and make Ducati a national treasure or what?
I think he already is, man. He's like damn near the I don't know, is it 8th, 9th, 10th wonder of the world, something like that.
Where's the form? I'll sign it. Send it to me.
Robert said he's the king of bad takes. Yeah, he has some real winners in there. Matt is I talked to him that he's missing the show, you guys, and he said he's going to try to carve out some time. And he said maybe we can record some short videos here and there. And I told him that you're definitely going to have to carve out time very soon because there's something very special. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's something very special coming to Field of Streams. So tell your friends, hide your wife, hide your kids, all that kind of business. Careful now. That blind squirrel might reach up and bite you. And that dude, that Crow King you talking about, led our pick'em contest last year by as many as 5 games at one point. That guy's he's something, man. So he ain't no fool, but he is a fool. So yeah, you got some receipts. Yeah, I see you over there, Robert. So what about it, Tennessee guys? When are you guys going to get back and do some more very orange live streams?
We've just got to sit down and talk about it. I mean, he's had stuff going on. I've had stuff going on. It's just when the regular job season slows down. I mean,
I'm thinking March here.
I would like to do. I mean, like you said, you got. I mean, you obviously are probably going to do something for G Day. I think. I mean, honestly, if they do the orange and white game in Chattanooga, I honestly think that you and I would probably be there if they decide to do it in Chattanooga. I think it's kind of an obvious choice to do it down there because you've got it's located where the Georgia recruits could come, Alabama recruits could come, North Carolina recruits could come. It's right there.
Chattanooga's a nice town. I wouldn't mind. I would come to the orange and white game if it were convenient. They've
mentioned doing it at UAB Stadium in Birmingham, or doing it at Truist, or the Liberty Bowl, which I mean the Liberty Bowl is basically a barely half step above Legion Field. They've talked about doing it at UT Martin, which is even smaller than UTC.
Yeah.
So I mean, or the second choice to me behind doing it at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga would be doing it at Nissan Stadium in Nashville.
That would be cool.
But the big thing is though they've got to get permission from the NCAA to have it off campus.
Yeah.
They've got to, because I mean the stadium's just not going to be ready in time.
Yeah.
They're doing way too much work for it. They're basically gutting a lot of seats on the.
Are you adding seats or removing seats?
It's both. I mean, because what they're doing, they're taking part of the west sideline area above the west sideline and putting in some club level stuff and some concourse level stuff for walking areas and things like that.
They're removing the mustard launch pad. Is what you're saying. Okay.
And they're going to be shoring up the south end zone of the stadium, which is still the oldest part of the stadium.
We're getting a big old TV to watch all that mustard fly.
Yeah, they're also adding a second Tron above the north end zone, or above the north end zone. So, I mean, I had field level seats in the south end zone for the South Alabama game, and paid basically nothing for them. But those will be $200 seats next year.
Ooh.
Just because they're adding the Tron on the opposite side of the field.
So I was listening to I wanted to say this earlier and I forgot. I got off track, whatever, got distracted. I was listening to the SEC Biased podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't, you guys should definitely check it out. Patronize our people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and check out the SEC Biased podcast. Shelby told me that they had already done, I think, at least 50 episodes. They probably in the 50s now. But I went back and listened to the episode where they were talking about the Ole Miss. They had an Ole Miss guy and a Tennessee guy on the show, right? Talking about the mustard game, and the Tennessee guy, who was going to be on the show with us tonight, and something came up. Was talking about how he believes that somebody brought that bottle in filled with alcohol, like they had emptied out a mustard bottle. He said,
probably.
And he said, that's why people bring mustard bottles to games. And I was like, what? Like I don't know. I mean, I remember used to go, we would go to the games or whatever, and there was always somebody who would, slide a flask up inside their skirt or something like that. You know what I mean? But like a freaking mustard bottle. But yeah, apparently, at Tennessee games now, you have to bring in like a clear, like if you have a backpack.
It's clear bag policy. Yeah, you have to have. I mean, the worst security I've ever seen was at Bristol.
What's that? Why is that?
We basically carried a 24-pack of PBR in there.
Oh.
we had it stuffed in our socks.
That sounds like awesome security to me.
Yeah, and they frisked us.
That's a hell of a game.
They frisked us. So how the hell they didn't know we had that?
Wait. You mean let me put this case down so you can frisk me?
No. We had the beer. We had the beer like under my arm. We were carrying cans of beer into my armpits and my pockets and inside the front pocket of the hoodie I was wearing, under my cap. I mean, it was insane. And they lit it. I was telling Brandon, like, we're never going to get in here with all this beer. And we walked through the friggin' front door, man. They patted us on the ass, said, "Come on in, boys." Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we were drunk before kickoff. So, I mean, not that I'm proud of that if my mother's watching this.
How many mustard bottles do you think pass through security moving forward?
Depends on if Ole Miss comes back to kneeling or not when they do.
It's not now. It's more of a Kiffin thing than the Ole Miss thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's just like Florida. Florida was really. It was a thing. It was a thing in the 60s and 70s when Doug Dickey left Tennessee to go to Florida, and then it became a thing again when Spurrier got to Florida in '89. But it was never strictly just a Florida thing. It was whoever the coach was. I mean, and so it's just kind of built for there. I've never considered Florida. I've never liked Florida, but I've never considered Florida to be our main rivals. Our main rivals for me have always been Bama and Vanderbilt. And Florida and Georgia fall on that secondary tier. Are they important? Yeah. Yes, of course they are. But
we're just a little extra happy that Heupel won the Steve Spurrier Award this year.
That was pretty good.
Yes.
Wasn't that a nice little icing on the cake?
I thought that honestly, I thought Shane Beamer had a legitimate claim to that as well.
Oh, he did.
Dude, if you'd have told me last year that South Carolina was going to have wins against Florida and Auburn in the same season, I would have called you a liar to your lying mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And sure enough, there it is. That guy Shane Beamer can go sit in the recruit's living room and say 1-0 against Florida and Auburn. You know what I mean? And that ain't no lie. So,
but he's still got one major problem. He's got to figure out how to protect Spencer Rattler.
I would argue that he has way more than one major problem, but yeah, you're right. I mean, but here is the problem with Spencer Rattler. That kid steps on campus and he's already the best quarterback you've had.
Yeah.
The second best quarterback South Carolina's had is Steve Spurrier. When he was coaching for, you know what I mean? And so there's just, I mean, like Garcia, okay, fine, fair enough, right? But he ain't no Spencer Rattler, you know? So will they be able to get some blood out of that turnip? I don't know. We'll see. But Austin Stogner's coming over. Joshua Van is coming back, as far as I know. Y'all can help me out on that one. I believe Van's back.
I think he was junior.
And Kevin Harris, the running back, isn't that his name? So South Carolina's got some pieces. They got some pieces of the puzzle that are a little bit, concerning. They're not slouchy defensively, and they got a decent coach, and now they got some offensive pieces. So what does that mean? I don't know. We'll see. But they have a hell of a schedule too. Whoo, boy. I mean, you look at that schedule. The football fairy turns into something much more sinister when you see their schedule. Yeah, even more sinister than Dren and the Tutu. So we're at the hour mark, boys. I'm gonna get out of here and chop this video up and get it going. Y'all got anything to say for yourselves?
Like, subscribe. Hit us on
We on Instagram, baby.
On
Instagram manager Brandon right there.
Just keep looking at the page on Facebook for new content, new stuff. Hopefully, very large live stream.
I saw some metrics from our Facebook, and they were all trending up.
Yeah, hopefully, Young Brandon and I will have our collective shit together come spring game time, and we'll be able to throw something together.
If we can ever get KTG to put us on his Twitch stream, man, I think that's the answer right there. Yeah. That's just.
I'm gonna get y'all on there. I was gonna do it today, man. My brother's home. I haven't seen my brother since the national championship game, so I've been spending time with him. But next week we'll be on Twitch.
Yes.
So, all right, Tennessee boys, this is the last order of business. Who you guys want to see us preview next week?
Find Tidwell somewhere and drag him out.
Auburn would be good. Part of me wants to see. Would want to see Ethan.
See if you can get that little girl to make an appearance on the thing.
Which little girl are you talking about?
The one that was followed the coach to Auburn.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. Hey, if she's gonna be on here, I'm gonna be on here.
His new 5-star.
That could be on our OnlyFans account. Okay.
Listen, I'm gonna need y'all to start.
I told you we were going to get sponsored by.
I'm gonna need y'all to start referring to Miss Clessy Crochet by her name and put some spec on it. You
understand? I ain't know her name. All I know is her name could be Mrs. Whitaker. That's all I know.
Golly, it's like Warren said. He goes, "Man, I'm glad I'm not a coach." That's tough. That's tough. But all right, boys. Well, I'm gonna say goodnight. So it's been fun. It's been real, all that good business, and we'll try to do it again next time. All right. So
catch you on the flip side. Peace out.
All right, catch y'all, boys and girls, next week, Tuesday, 9:30.